So you were the 43rd overall pick
Mm-hmm.
selected in the second round of the 1989 draft.
Right.
What was it like playing for Cleveland and Hall of Fame head coach Lenny Wilkens?
Man, I tell you, man, that was probably, they say things happen for a reason. That was probably the best thing ever that I got drafted there. I was projected to go top 15 that year in the draft. And I'm gonna tell you why after I finish this story, why I dropped. I've never told this story, so y'all getting I'm your first NBA player. Y'all getting the first story too that I haven't told
Awesome. I love it.
but yeah, I got drafted to Cleveland. Got drafted as a veteran team. Larry Nance, Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, Hot Rod Williams, Ron Harper, Tree Rollins, Paul McKeskey. Trying to think who else. What was that? Steve Kerr was there.
Nice.
So we had a veteran crew, and like it was probably the best thing for me because there was a such thing as a good veteran and a bad veteran. So I got drafted to a good veteran team where my first year I was known as Rook. I was never called my name. It was Rook. Yo, Rook, come here. Rook, come here. Do this, do that. So and I was lucky enough to have a guy like Larry Nance, who still to this day I talk to. But he was the one that said, hey, he said, look, Rook, this is what we're going to do. You're going to come here early. You're going to bring me some donuts. We're going to work out. We're going to get, and then we're going to go to practice. And then after practice, we're going to get some extra work in. So he kind of showed me what it was going to take to last in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, that was a great situation I got drafted into. Then, I was fortunate enough, where I had an injury. Not me, but the person playing in front of me got injured. So then I had the opportunity to play. And I remember, like in practice, I was always playing better than the guy in front of me. And, I was just wondering why I wasn't getting out there. Yeah. And I remember my father telling me, like, look, don't complain about it. Just when your time comes, you be ready. If you you shouldn't complain about it, you won't be ready when your time comes. So I was like, all right, cool. So my time came. Ended up starting, and then it was hard for them to get me out of there because I was ready. So and I think that because every day I worked with Larry Nance, and he pretty much he didn't have to make me because I love to play, so I wanted to be good at it. So he just had to all he had to do was just say, like he said, yo, Rook, you come meet me here, we're gonna do this, that, and we did that, and that helped me. That helped me a lot. So it was fun, and Lenny was a great coach. He was a guy that never got too high, never got too low. So he was always calm. So you were always calm. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of fun being there. And Lenny, he taught you a lot of life lessons. Like I was a real emotional guy. I wore my emotions on my sleeve, but Valvano was cool with that. But Lenny, when I was, I'd be getting emotional sometimes in practice, and Lenny would be like, listen, NBA is different. College, you play about 30 games. NBA, you're going to play 82, possibly 100 with 8-game preseason, and if you make the playoffs. So you will wear yourself out emotionally, so try to control your emotions. And, that helped me a lot doing that. So Lenny was also, great for me to play for. And Lenny was from Brooklyn. So that helped, and I knew about Lenny Wilkens. My mother knew about him, so she told me how great of a player he was, and I, ended up looking him up, and had a great amount of respect for him. So now I'll tell you the story about why I got drafted 43rd. Okay. So they have the Chicago pre-draft camp, and they do all these tests on you and stuff like that. So one of the doctors, the doctor from the Charlotte Hornets at the time, I guess he said that my back was bad and that I wouldn't last 3 years in the league.
Wow.
And so I end up falling to 43rd. I never knew that. But how I find this out, I go to a game. This is when I'm retired. I'm done playing. So I go to a game and I'm walking in the back, got my little press pass on. I'm walking, feeling good. And so I see the doctor and I'm like, hey, what's up, doc? What's going on? So he's like, hey, man, you know what? You did a great job. He came out and said it. He was like, you did a great job. You had a great career, man, and I didn't think your back was going to last 3 years. I I had to tell people that. And I was like, what? And I just was like, man, like, listen, you know, you cost me some money, man. But, you know, I was like, oh, okay. And I really know what to say after he said that to me. But yeah, that's why I dropped. So that's the first time I told that story, man.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a cool story to run into him all those years later.
All those years later, and he brought it up. You know, he brought it up. You know, how great my career was, and you know that he didn't think I would last 3 years, and he had to tell people. I was like, man, look, you cost me a lot of money, Doc.
Yeah.